Hey, greetings everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement. GKFTB. I like that. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite artists. It's Steven Wilson. What a career this man's had. And I am a huge fan. This Friday is the release date, tomorrow, of Steven's new album, Harmony Codex. Now, I have to say, there's something going on with the distribution on this album. It's getting frustrated trying to get our hands on it on release day. Amazon in Canada is not even allowing you to order it. I checked with my local record stores. They don't even have it listed. And checked with my buddy who owns Zap Records in Coburg, Ontario. He would have to order it from the UK, so it would take about a month. I ended up going to Steven's website and ordering it directly from the artist. They say they're going to ship it out the day before release, but I have yet to have a notice today saying they're shipping out, and I'm having strong doubts that that's going to happen. So when it gets here, and I'm really anxious to do a review and unveiling whenever it gets here. Anyway, Steven Wilson. My first time I was aware of Steven Wilson was when he worked on... Oh, I'm not organized here. Where are they? Here. When he worked on the anniversary editions of King Crimson's albums, 40th anniversary releases. That's the first time I heard his name. And around the same time, these are fantastic. Now, they come with a DVD audio plus the original album remixed, and they sound good, and they've got bonus tracks and everything, but he did such an amazing job on remixes. Then I started to follow him. He started to do a ton of them. He was doing them for everybody, and my favorite one, and the one that I think he did the best job on, which was from 2011, is Jethro Tull's Aqualung. This sounds incredible. That is actually called the 2011 Steven Wilson Stereo Remixes. You need to hear this if you haven't. It is incredible. I was never happy. This is one of my top 5 albums of all time, and I was never happy with any issue of this album I ever had. I thought the dynamics were too wide, like it went from, you could hardly hear some of the tracks, and then the other tracks would be really loud. It just wasn't mixed well at all, I didn't think. And Steven just cleaned it right up and punched it up and did where it needed to be punched up, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I can't say enough about this album. That is so I mean, Steven Wilson's genius in doing that with other bands, remixing their catalog, and every one to me sounds fantastic. He did the Yes catalog too. I have Fragile, Yes album, and Relayer. All sound amazing. He did an incredible job with XTC. Same thing. Black Sea. Oranges and Lemons, or Drums and Wires, I'm sorry. And I always forget the names of these stupid things. Skylarking, and of course, Nonsuch. Still waiting for English Settlement. Come on, Steven. I think he's worked on Tangerine Dream. I can't think of what. Oh, he's Chicago 2, which is very affordable. It's just in a single CD case. It's nothing fancy about it, but it sounds fantastic. The new Who's Next. He was involved in that project as well. But on his own career, I mean, so in 2015, I didn't buy any of Steven's stuff with Porcupine Tree. That's the band he kind of started out with. And I have some stuff later on I picked up after the fact. So I'm not sure when these albums came out. I think in the late 90s or something like that, or early 2000s. This is 2007, I believe. The Sky Moves Sideways, Up the Down Stair. This is Dead Wing, I think, which is probably my favorite. If you're interested in checking out Porcupine Tree, I would check out. I would consider them like a cross between Rush meets Pink Floyd. Does that make sense? So Steven's solo career, I did not buy anything until 2015 when, oh, there's one more Porcupine Tree. This is the latest one that came out last year. Now, I think this is a really good album. How much staying power for me for some reason. I should revisit it because, I mean, they do such a great job. But this is called Continuum, Closure Continuation, and check it out. Good album. So back to Steven Wilson. 2015, he put out what is, again, just behind Aqualung as my favorite album of all time. 5th on my list, Hand Cannot Erase. I bought this just because, hey, I gotta try this Steven Wilson guy and see what his stuff. I'm so impressed with the work he does on other people's stuff. His stuff must be good. And I bought that album and I took it home and I put it on. And it starts off kind of real dreamy and everything, and then all of a sudden it goes, and it's like almost scares you, and it threw me off. And I listened to the album and found parts of it were like just so good, and parts of it were just uncomfortable. But because there was parts in it that were so good, I kept listening to it, and pretty soon the uncomfortable parts became really cool. And this album is just absolutely, I think, a work of genius. I love it. It's a concept album. If you don't know the story, there was a woman in Britain who kind of withdrew from the world. She didn't really let anybody know. She was kind of writing people letters and kind of staying in touch, but she was just staying in her apartment or whatever. Gradually, she died in there, and no one found her for like a couple of years. It's a weird story, but it's a true story. And this is a poignant, very dramatic, just well done story of her life. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful album. You need to hear this album if you've never heard it. Give it a few listens, please. Just absolutely incredible. I actually saw this tour, and man, it was so good. I saw it at Massey Hall. Fantastic. That's the album, but I'm telling you, absolute brilliance. Steven Wilson's Hand Cannot Erase. Then I went back and started buying Steven Wilson albums. I don't have anything else on vinyl. Everything else is on CD. But started picking up some of his early stuff. The next, well, there's my Hand Cannot Erase on CD. That's the original one I bought in 2015. But I started looking into it, and everybody said, if you like Hand Cannot Erase, you're going to love The Raven That Refused to Sing. I think I do have this on vinyl. I should have pulled it. Incredible album. Another one. Just fantastic. It doesn't reach me like Hand Cannot Erase does, but it's right up there. Great, great record. The Raven That Refused to Sing. Check that out. Okay, and then some of his earlier stuff. Album called 4.5. Which is good. They're all good. This one is Grace for Drowning, I think it's called. Yeah, Grace for Drowning. This is, from what I understand, a lot to do with the passing of his father, this album. Again, really excellent album. Insurgencies, another one that's really good. They're all good. I don't know what to say. Then the last couple albums he's released have been, after Hand Cannot Erase, have been more, I'm not going to call them power pop, but they're moving in the pop direction. No concept to them, all like individual songs and tracks. They don't relate. But because I was so enamored with Hand Cannot Erase, and I was using that as my measuring stick. I was disappointed in these albums, but the more I listened to them, the more I loved them. Like this is called To the Bone. Fantastic song. There's a beautiful ballad on here called Pariah. That's, if you're like a ballad person, check that out. It's fantastic. His latest album was called The Future Bites. I didn't like this album when I first heard it. Very disappointed, and I've given it lots of chances, and just more recently, I've fallen in love with this frickin' album. It's amazing. The first song, Unself, and then the second song, Self, are fantastic. There's well, just just give this album a listen. It's really good. Now, he did release a live album after To the Bone came out, and this is called Steven Wilson Home Invasion from Royal Albert Hall. Comes with a Blu-ray video disc, and yeah, it's got songs from Hand Cannot Erase and from To the Bone, are basically the two albums that it focuses on. But fantastic. So anyway, if you've never really given Steven Wilson a chance, please do so. He's amazing. I'm really looking forward to the new album. And thanks for watching. Some thumbs, subscribers. Thank you.